Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Brother Andrew, and today my lesson is going to be wives and women in the pulpit or whatnot, and also how wives submit, and the order of how the Most High wanted us to have in the household and in the churches as well. First, I'll start off with saying, bless you, brothers and sisters, for watching this video. I pray, I don't hope, I pray, so brothers and sisters gain some understanding from this. If not, I know the Most High will wake you up when time's ready. All right, well, I'm going to start off again. It all started with Adam and Eve in the garden. This independent woman thing that we think, or people are under the false belief that it just started these last 10, 20, 30 years ago. It's been happening since the garden. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, and Lucifer used Eve to get Adam to bite the fruit. And so what we're going to do is that we're just going to go into Genesis real quick. All right. And all right, so here it is. We're gonna start at Genesis chapter 3. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Father had made. And he said unto the woman, Yeah, hath Ahiah said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" So now he's tempting them, saying, didn't he tell you not to eat of every garden? And remember, he's subtle out of all the animals, so he's like the slickest, the smoothest, basically. "And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Ahiah hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For the Father doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." See, so right here he's telling the woman, and this isn't to knock down women or anything, but women are emotionally attached to just about everything. They do everything with emotion, which is why they stand firm in everything that they do, and they're gonna fight nail and tooth for everything. So what this is saying is that he tempted her. He said he knows you're not gonna die. Well, see, he wasn't talking about a death as in you're gonna physically die and that's it. He was talking about a spiritual death. You see, and then so she basically gave in, and here it is. "And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat." You see how this happens? The Most High told Adam, don't eat from it. He was doing fine. And I'm not saying it's until the woman, but when the woman came, Satan, Lucifer, the serpent, he knew to tempt her first, because a man isn't going to budge, really. You see? And so she bit it. She saw it was good, and then she goes up to Adam, and she tells him to bite. "And the eyes of both were open." Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm at verse 6 again. "To be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat." So then he eats it after her. "And the eyes of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons." See, and right there is where you see it all. It started in the garden. It's been happening from before. She basically told him, like, eat this. I'm not dead. I didn't die. But it wasn't a physical death. It was a spiritual death. And that's why Satan always he goes to women for, not saying that he doesn't go to men, because he does, but he knows women is basically our other half. He knows that. You see what I'm saying? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. And what that speaks of is basically, all right, it says women in worship. Right? Let's start with that. It says, verse 9. In like manner, also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. So a woman should come looking as a woman of Christ, not wearing all these with these gold earrings, makeup, and all this kind of hairdos that they have. It says to come with shamefacedness and sobriety. So if you're sober, then and you're in the body of Christ, you act correctly. But which becometh woman professing godliness with good works? Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So the woman is supposed to learn in silence. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. So see, but the father doesn't want the woman to have authority over the man. There's only two positions in that aspect. If the woman takes that role, then the man is left to take a woman's role. You see what I'm saying? So what actually happens here is that most women in the churches, they're wrong because they're not supposed to be in that position. It says right here that, again, this is the King James Version. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach. He doesn't want a woman to teach. A woman should be silent, nor to usurp authority over the man. So she's not under in a bad way, but she's second to man. But to be in silence, because remember, from Adam came Eve, from his rib. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. See, as I was saying, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. So that goes to show why a woman should learn in silence, and why she should know her position and play her position. It's not because we men want her to be. That's because the Father said it should be like this. And this goes even with the system, the satanic system, dividing households and sending kids with their mother. And, it takes two to raise a family. That's how Satan infiltrated families, was through the system and divorce. I don't need a man. I don't need this. I don't need that. That's wrong, sister. You're going to need a man eventually. And you always need a man. Let's see. Look, what we're going to do now is go to 1 Corinthians 14 and 34. So it says right here, 14 and 34, 1 Corinthians. It says, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. It's not permitted. They don't have permission, but they are commanded to be under obedience. So this is a commandment. It's not like, oh, you can speak. No, they're commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. So all these Joyce Mayers, what's this other sister's name that just got married and divorced? All these sisters, like, they're in the church, they don't have their hair covering. They're not wearing they're wearing all this gold, all this makeup, all these little skirts and all that. And now they took the seating of men. They're becoming the pastors or the prophetess or all this. They're the head of a church, which that is wrong. So you can expect a church to go right when it's already wrong from the get-go. Because it says right here again, we're going to go back to 1 Timothy chapter 2. It says, and like men also that women adorn themselves. Let's skip down to 12. Actually 11 and 12. Let the woman learn in silence. So she should be learning like this. That's what she should be doing. With all subjection. Subjection means to submit. But I suffer not a woman to teach. So she shouldn't be teaching, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Silence. And then that's one book. That's Timothy. When you go back to Corinthians, it says, let your women keep silence in the churches. So all these women, they're already wrong from the get-go. For it is not permitted unto them to speak. So they don't have the permission, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. So if a woman learns, she's supposed to learn from her husband. She can't have power over or that position over man and expect to be in the right or into the known. She has to learn from her man, from her husbands. And then from here, we're going to go to Revelations 2 and I believe 20 and 21 real quick. Let me see. Yes, Revelation chapter 2 and 21. It says, Notwithstanding, at verse 20, notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess. So Jezebel is a spirit, and she calls herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. That's why you have men sleeping with women pastors or prophetesses or what have you, because they're seducing the men with the makeup, the jewelry, the gold, the pearls, the earrings, and all that. They ain't supposed to do that. They're supposed to be quiet and learn from their husbands at home.